Good afternoon. Let me get my earbuds in so you can hear me. It's 12:38, I think. I don't have my glasses. Somewhere around that time. It's been kind of a crazy time. So the bat signal's going up. I've got some things that we can discuss today. I almost thought about not coming on again because my inner doubter has been coming out to play a lot lately. But my inner confidence is trying to take over the show today, and I'm allowing it. So I'm here. For whoever's popping in, just pop in and say hi. I appreciate your joining me today. It's been a very strange, powerful month for all of us. I say that I think most of us would agree on that it's been a lot of shifting energy, a lot of changes. And those changes are very deep. We are getting to very deep layers of ourselves. And so I've noticed, hi, Melanie. I've noticed that, a lot of times we think, well, we've done the work. We're really making progress. We think, yeah, man, we're really getting someplace now. And then we have these moments of where we're right back where we started. And we think, well, what happened? I was making such deep progress and I've been really clearing energy and working so hard. It's not that we've fallen backwards. And that's really the biggest thing that they want us to hear today. We're not falling backwards. We are going to deeper levels. So even though there is a certain thing in your life that you think, man, I've done a lot of healing on that and I'm in a really great place. Maybe, just maybe, we're not there yet. Maybe we have, even though we have taken layers and layers and done amazing work, we're in a time where we are really getting, it's a double edge here. We're getting to very deep levels of our heavy baggage, very deep levels, stuff that we didn't even know even existed. We thought it was good. Hi, Lisa. And now all of a sudden we're getting into this very deep place. And so that's stuff that we haven't fully unloaded yet. We haven't fully let go of it. And that's really us. Nobody's stopping us. It's just, if we don't know it's there, if we don't know there's a deeper level of pain, of growth there that's needed, then we're not going to work on it, right? So we're getting pushed into really seeing and feeling and knowing that these things are there now. And as we realize that we've got this deeper level of work to do, it requires us to say, okay, I've been working hard at this, but maybe I've got some more work to do, and maybe I need to allow myself to go deeper into this than I've ever gone before. And that's where it gets scary, right? Because we don't want to go in deeper. It's kind of scary down in those deep places. When you think about it, it's like, my gosh, it's dark down there. It's all of the things that I've always been afraid of are there. And I don't want to go into those things. I've been bottling them up for a long time. Lifetimes we've been bottling these things up. So take a big breath. We're all in this together. We've all been going through it. Hi, Carol. I know you're going through it too. These deeper levels of healing like we've never done before. And it means that we're spending a lot of time, like 1 minute we're really great, the next minute we're just a puddle of tears on the floor, or the next minute we're really angry, or we have all this strong emotion that comes with it. And there is that need to remember that those deep emotions, that anger has its place. We came with that anger. It pushes us into motion. It's not something to bottle up anymore. I know for me, I feel this energy come up in my solar plexus lately. It's my core just gets filled right up with energy. And it's like, where is this energy coming from? And then where is it going to go? We have so much help coming in right now. So we think, oh gosh, here we go again. I got to go through all this work. You're not in this by yourself. You have this amazing team around you. And I, for one, can be very stubborn about accepting help. Well, I'm realizing lately that I'm also very stubborn about asking my team for help, in particular, certain members of the team. Yesterday, I realized that when I was out on my walk. It was like I started hearing it, the voice of a different guide completely. And I'm like, who are you? And where did you come from? Because I've never heard that voice before. And I'm realizing now that the reason why I don't often hear these other voices is because I've always spent so much time in the past 5 years. I've always looked for Steve, or I've looked for Archangel Michael, or Yeshua. I have certain Kuan Yin. I have certain ones that I always go to. And what I realized yesterday as I was out walking, and this is a very important aha moment, is that I also have my own team. I have my own guides that I brought back through with me. I have my own. So even though, of course, Archangel Michael is more than happy to jump in and help, Yeshua is more than happy to jump in and help us with things. Who do we actually have that we brought through? You could have, it's as simple as this. Let's simplify it down. Say you've lived lifetimes with this other soul, and the two of you are just close, where you're just absolutely the best of friends. You laugh together, you have a great time. Well, you both cross over at some point, and when you're on the other side, you're still best friends. Obviously, we're all best friends on the other side, and you're just enjoying each other so much. And you go, you know what? I have been called to go back down. I'm gonna reincarnate on planet Earth. I know, it's crazy, isn't it? And your friend is going, yeah, that's nuts. That planet is wild. Are you sure you want to do that? And you're like, yeah, I need to. I need to go do this. It's a part of my soul growth. It's important to the planet. I need to go. And she's like, I don't really want to do it. I can't go with you. Not in physical. It's just too difficult. And so you go, well, you know what? I do have these positions open. I could really use a couple of guides. I'm missing some really great guides, and I would love to have you come with me because you are one of my favorite friends. We've done this so many times together, and you really understand me in physical form. You've been there in physical with me before, and since you don't want to come in physical, how about if you decide to come in through as a guide? You can like, our guides can leave us signs and symbols. Our guides can kind of plant information in us, even if we're not hearing them clearly, if we're not clairaudient, we will have a treasure map to follow because our guides know us so well. They're like, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead, and it's really fun playing this game with her. She's down there in that physical body doing her thing, and she's waking up and she's really learning more about herself, and she's kind of going along. And I think that I'm going to play this game. I'm going to leave her a little path to follow. I'm going to put out some little signs and symbols and see if she'll remember to follow. And that's really kind of what our guides do. That's the truth, is we have guides that are just there to kind of redirect us sometimes. They're like, we get off going this way, or maybe going into the wrong relationship, or we're looking at the wrong job prospects or whatever. And our guides pop up and they're like, you know what? I do know you really well. I've been there before with you. I know you're going to go the wrong path because you are so drawn to that you can't stop yourself. So guess what? Because I know you so well, better than anyone, I'm going to put something up in your way, and it's going to really make you mad that got in your way, and yet it's going to redirect you into that other area where you really wanted to go, because the two of you have spent a lot, you know each other so well, and you spent a lot of time, and you discussed your purpose here on the planet and what you wanted to accomplish while you were here. That guide is the one that's got your back. She's the one that keeps you accountable. She's that friend that will always come in and say, are you sure about that? Are you sure you really want to do that? I mean, like, I'm not going to stop you if that's really the way you want to go. But, if you're really, really thinking about it, I think maybe you might want to consider going that way instead, or going out with that guy, or don't you dare go out with that guy. He's going to pull you into partying or whatever. It's that friend. It's that friend that's always got your back, that's a little bit wiser, a little bit smarter than you maybe, that has already figured out a lot of things about life. And that's the one that you would go to if you were really trying to sort out your world, really trying to make a big decision. You go, who do I really trust with this? That one. That's the one I trust. And so here you are, back to you on planet Earth. You're just wandering through life. Just wandering through life. I'm really trying to figure all this out. I really want to accomplish a lot in this lifetime. Thank you, Gerald, for the amazing numerology report. I'm realizing the more these people give me these reports, how much I've set myself up for a very difficult time this time around. Thank goodness I've made good progress, I think. But I need these guides that I brought back there with me. And one of them met up with me on my walk yesterday. I think maybe more than one. They had a very different energies. And they were just kind of, one of them was a little witch. Nice one. Where I've been a witch in a past life. And I'm well aware of that. That's why I have brooms all over my house and cauldrons and stuff. I'm really, I love apothecary stuff. That's why I got into pharmacy. So I know I've got that white witch, that healer inside of me. So it was kind of cool to meet up with her yesterday. And it was cool to meet up with this other one that started talking to me. I was like, ooh, you're interesting. You've got a very different voice. That reminder to me was, and I want you to hear this, that when you meditate, when you take those long walks, when you're sitting in silence, or you're just driving in your car and you're wanting somebody to talk to, but you're all by yourself and you don't really have anybody to talk to, those are gifts. Those moments when you don't have anybody else show up. We all look at them like, oh, I'm so lonely. Everybody's got somebody. Believe me, I'm there all the time. Or even if I've got friends, sometimes it's difficult to find somebody that can really understand where I am in the world. And so let me give you this. Those guides, the ones that are your best friends that have lived with you other lifetimes and they are now in spirit form, hanging about, ready to help you out at any point, they're the ones that really get you. Hear me. They are the ones that get you better than you have. I have a couple. You might have some really great friends on this planet that you think really get you. They're not always available. They don't always have time to sit and talk. They don't, I would just want to blah, 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 blah. I can really talk my way. I need to talk it out loud in order to make sense because my mind gets so filled up with this stuff. And so I'm learning, and I hope you'll hear this, that when we are, and I teach this a lot in Voice of the Spirit, which I need to have another class soon, when we are really all gummed up like that, when we sit down by ourselves, in a car or out in the woods, you can put your earbuds in and have your phone in your hand. People think you're just talking on the phone these days anyway. A lot of times you can't even see their earbuds and they're talking. You think either they're very smart and they're talking to themselves or they're talking to somebody on the phone. So you can get away with it anywhere. I move my mouth when I'm out walking. I'm not talking. I talk as I'm meditating these days, and I'm asking for healing for different souls, and I'm like doing all kinds of work as I'm walking. So as you're walking, as you're wherever you are, I really highly encourage you to start reaching out to your own guides. Start asking their names. Who are you? And let them come in one at a time. I've been really good at calling in the powerhouses. Like, I know what Archangel Michael feels like, and I know what Yeshua feels like, and I know what Kuan Yin feels like. I played with them. Archangel Raphael, yeah. Archangel Gabriel, they get all this great energy, and I'm like, oh, I love playing with that. Your guides have great energy too. And they have the added benefit of knowing you through and through in all of these physical lifetimes that you've gone through. They know what kind of character you are. And they love you anyway. How amazing is it to think that you have these best friends? And there may not be a lot of them. I don't know how many guides we pull through. But imagine that you have guides that are best friends that will always come to you when you call on them. They will always hear you. They understand you better than anyone. They will challenge you in your decisions. There's no judgment on the other side, right? Archangel Michael and Yeshua and all, the source, they let you go wherever you're going to go. You're going to go. It's only an experience. They just watch us like little toddlers. They're just like, okay, if you want to go that way, you can go that way. These guides that you brought through, they're the ones that know you inside and out. And while they're not judging you, they definitely will kind of give you a kick in the pants every now and then. They definitely will try to help you get to where you want to go because they are the ones that you have worked with one-on-one. As you were laying out your plan, they sat with you because they decided to be your guide. So you both sat together planning out this incarnation. And so they know what you're trying to get to. They know what you're trying to do. They know you better than any soul. Trust me, they know exactly what your plan should be, what you should be doing, which step you should be making. And we are missing the boat when we forget. I have been missing that boat for a long time. I go to my higher self. Yes, my higher self has my answers too. But what if I got that friend that's not always all that, what's a good word? She doesn't hold back. She literally just tells me how it is. That's that guide. We all have one. Trust me, you have brought yourself through someone that is going to remind you of who you're supposed to be this time around. And they are also going to remind you of your power. They're also going to tell you, get off your butt. Do this. This is what you need to do right now. If you get off your butt and you go get that healthy food instead of that bag of chocolate, or if you go take that big long walk, In this place, you're going to find this energetic place that's going to really change you. Sometimes it's just in taking that walk, or it's like you're led to a certain thing and you get there and all of a sudden it's like, oh, what's this energy? And it starts to feed into you and you're like, okay, I got my answer all of a sudden. I got mine yesterday in a 1.5 2-mile walk. I got this. I've been looking for this missing link. What am I missing? I'm missing my friends, my spirit guides. I'm missing them. I haven't been talking to them. I haven't been looking for my own healing angel when I do healings. I haven't been trusting my own personal team, which I decided to bring here with me. I haven't been taking the time to spend with them. So I hope you're hearing me, because it feels like somebody else needs this message too. Yes, we've incarnated together, and we are good friends, and we will kick each other in the butt every now and then and tell each other, oh, wait a minute, don't do, are you sure you want to do that thing? You know, we've got each other to kind of keep each other's backs, and when one of us gets weak, the other one is there to hold them up. That's important. Remember that you have them on the spirit side too, and they're always around you, and they're always watching out for you, and I feel like they may be the ones that sometimes send us these crazy dreams so that they can try to get us through a message. So when you're having these wild dreams and you're like, what in the world, where did that come from? Well, thank your spirit guide. They're like, I am going to wake you up to this somehow. They have the ability because you gave it to them. You gave them permission to help guide you, to help you get to where it is that you want to be. And sometimes it doesn't feel that good. Sometimes you're like, oh gosh, are you sure you're my friend? But they're only trying to help. So use that. I hope that you're hearing me today. I needed that, and I'm glad that I came on here. I was like, here's when I said something, I put on their insecurities and strength. I've had a difficult week in that. I've been feeling very insecure again, a lot. And that is not to say that I can't blame it on anyone else. Yes, there's been situations that have made me feel insecure, but they've come to me to wake me up. I drew it in. I drew in those opportunities for somebody to come in and say something hateful or mean to me so that I could say, wait a minute, if I was in the right place, that wouldn't hurt. And so then I go, okay, I got work to do. So I've been really doing a lot of work, and I encourage you that if you've got things like that going on in your world, to spend some time and say, okay, why is this happening to me? You know, I could sit there and get mad at that person. I can say all kinds of hateful things back to that person. I could just lash out and do the same thing, send back the same kind of energy that they're sending to me. Or I can go, wait a minute, I'm going to look back at myself here. I called that into me. I need to work on it. And I don't know if that was my spirit guide that came and told me that, because I definitely was sitting on the fence when that first happened to me. So the insecurities are a part of the energy on the planet right now. Back to you guys, that those insecurities are a part of it, and our souls are calling in opportunities for us to face our greatest fears in any way that might come forth. And it's manifesting in ways where we're like, wait, I wanted to manifest, but that's not exactly what I wanted to manifest. That's no fun at all. Well, your soul knows what it needs to bring in. Your spirit guides, your team, which we all have an amazing team around us. They know what we need to experience. I needed to experience the things that I've experienced this week so that I can work on my own strength, so that I can say, wait a minute, that's not me at all. They don't know me at all. They have no idea who I am. I am so much more than that. And they might have been feeding into my own insecurities, so they woke me up to that. And I need to take care of that. That is my work to do. And so then I fulfill that contract with them. I'm like, okay, great. Thank you for giving me that message. Now I cut that contract. I cut that cord. I have received. And since I have received and I'm working on learning, I don't need to receive it again. So that is always going to be when we are willing to turn it back around in ourselves and say, okay, there's an opportunity for soul growth here. And we accept that and we do the work, they stop coming. That negativity stops coming in. It has no space anymore in your world. It's all about learning. Doesn't that suck? We came here, our souls continue to learn no matter whether we're physical or non physical. We continue to learn and grow all the time. That is the soul's greatest purpose. That is everything. If you're like, okay, what is my purpose? Your purpose ultimately is always to learn. You have all million different pathways to figure out how and to do these different things so that you get to learn. But it's always in learning. So everything and everyone that is in your life, every experience that comes your way, is an opportunity for your soul to grow. The end. Hello, Lauren Riley. Hello, Rachel. I love my friends. I'm so glad that you show up when I pop in because I'm never sure because my time is never the same. I'm sorry about that. I think that's one of my big weaknesses. In my numerology report, part of that is this inner gypsy. She is no good at planning ahead. She needs to work on that. She loves the freedom of running out to the mountains whenever she likes to. She likes the idea that she can hop in the car and travel whenever she wants to. She likes the idea that she can go hop in a plane and go to the other side of the world. She likes her freedom a lot. And so, in order for me to set up a definite time to do things, I have to really work with that inner gypsy in me that says that you got to be still. You got to, and I really have to tie myself down because I'm ready to just float away right now, always. So just know that about me. I know it would be nice. In saying that, went through a miscarriage, which would explain a lot in this life. Yeah, it would. Moving through, wait, hold on. I am just moving through something in a past life. Yeah. I think that there's so many, we've lived so many lifetimes. There's so many things. And so it means that we've got to keep on. There's so many signs and symbols around us, to help us, to remind us, to put us in the right place. One of my big things to learn about in this lifetime is family, which is in my number 6 or something. I can't do the numerology report. And I have 6 children. It's like we have all of these things that are trying to remind us of where our work is, what we need to be doing. And our soul knows. Somehow our soul just knows. I knew, now that I think about it. Here's my little story. I was in a not so nice marriage. I married someone that really was no good for me from day one. Like, I knew he was no good for me. He just was not nice. He wasn't a nice guy. I wanted him to be nice, and I wanted to be able to fix him because I'm an empath and I didn't understand what that meant. I thought, and he's a narcissist, but I thought, man, I can fix this guy. Surely, just love him. He's going to turn out okay. I remember that it was like being in a jail sentence for 6 years. 20 years, nearly 20 years. I remember thinking, well, I can't get out of this yet. It's not time. And we did break up a few times, some serious ones, but I kept going back. When my youngest was born and she was about a year old, I started telling him, okay, I'm done. And by that time, we had actually become kind of friends. So it was a little more difficult. And I thought he was able to deal with this by then. January, as my youngest was about almost 2 years old, was when I finally heard my guide for the first time, and I was released. And so if you go back in your history, you look at your numerology, and then you go back and look at that age of about 41 years old. She was born when I was 40, so I was 41. I suddenly released myself from jail 6 kids later. In my numerology, 6 is my need to work on family. So it's cool. Anyway, I'm unraveling all these pieces, and she just gave me all this information. I'm starting to unravel. Isn't it cool how we're so complex, and this is all like a big game. It's all a big puzzle. And when we really pay attention to the signs and symbols, those puzzle pieces start to fall into place. And then you're like, oh gosh, jeez, who could make this stuff up? But we did. Just pointing that out. Not at a conscious level, we can't make this stuff up. But when you're on the other side with your team, with your guides, you're sitting there making these things up. You are the one that lays out the path for yourself to follow once you come into physical form. And then your guides, your personal guides, are the ones that are there to make sure to keep you accountable on that path. That's the difference between between Archangel Michael, who will always come when I call him, and my personal guides. My personal guides are just like my best friends on earth, hopefully. They will hold me accountable for the decisions that I make, and they will kind of give me little nudges sometimes in the right direction. So, does that all make sense? 2022, Universal Year of Six. A lot of cool stuff coming on. This is the 5th year since Steve died. I will be turning 55 next month. I am in my soul path on the numerology or the cycles through 1 through 9. I'm in my 5th year, and according to this numerology report that Cheryl Ann did, 5 is like my life purpose or my soul purpose, something. I got to get it all together. She needs to write it all down for me. So 5, and I have all of these 5s. When we start pulling up the numerology reports, I have all these 5s pop up. So 555, as a matter of fact, I think that was in my married name. So I just have all this crazy 5. So Lauren, I get it. There's so much. It's wild. The 6 year is usually annoying. Well, I don't want to hear that at all. But I think it's going to be as annoying as it is beautiful. I think we're just coming into a time. I know I am coming into a time of great completion. I've completed a lot of the negative issues in my numerology, and I'm moving out of that. So hopefully it won't be too annoying. I got a little push a few minutes ago. I'm waiting to see if I get the definite yes before I mention this. So, you know how you suddenly go, wait, oh, weirdness, she's being weird, silence. I'm checking in with my guides. I read a book. I was pulled into a book recently, and Carol knows exactly what book it is. Multiple 5s, yes, always change. But I love change. I'm one of those few people. I remember working in a hospital when they were going to completely redo. I was up in registration at that point, and they were going to completely redo the entire system, a medical record system, so that every time a patient came in, there would be a completely new program, and it would be so crazy. And everybody in the place, they talked about doing this for years, and they started preparing and training people and doing all kinds of crazy stuff. And as it's coming up time, everybody else is freaking out. And they're like, I'm going to take the first week of that off. And I'm going to, they're trying to get out of it in any way they can. And I'm like, oh no. I was one of these people. It's like, we get to change up. We're going to do something different. And I was one of the few people that jumped in there, was like, yes, let's do this thing. And I just figured it out as I went. And then I started training everybody else. That's me. I love change. I've always been like that. You give me something different where everybody else has a meltdown, and I'm like, oh, good. Here we go. Let's do it. So at least knowing that in my numerology report makes me understand why I'm so crazy in that way. I love change. Sorry. I just do. Anyway, here's the thing. I didn't bring it over here with me. I would like to know. I want to start 2 things. I'm getting the push to do another Voice of the Spirit. I'm going to put it out there. If I get 4 or 5 people, I'm going to do 1 class. If I get 3 people, if I get 1 person, I'll do 1 class. If I get 20, I'll break you up by different classes. The idea of Voice of the Spirit is about finding your truth. I never know exactly where it's going to go, because it is completely catered to the people that come in. And the people that come in, because they're such beautiful souls, will feed into it, and we end up going in different directions every time. And typically, after that first, 4 or 5 classes, people want to go on and on and on and on until it finally wears itself out, and we all go, okay, enough. So but the original class is always 4 weeks, and it's just 4, I think we do 4 2-hour classes. So I want to do that again. But I also want to start something different for anyone that's interested. And I'm going to share this out a lot, so people will hear it, and I'll start to share out the information on these. The other thing that I'd like to start is a book by, help me with her name, Carol. It'll come to me in just a second. It's called Diana Herself, and it's one of the most amazing books I have ever read in my life. It literally, I was like, it's fictional, kind of a fictional, fun book to read, and yet it is so life altering. And I want to get into a group of people who want that life altering spiritual experience. Martha Beck, thank you, thank you, thank you. If you ever look up Martha Beck, amazing soul, has written some of the most amazing books. In this book, I keep passing it by, and I'm like, I need to share this book out for anybody, and it's only for those that are ready. So you have to feel like you're really ready for a true move into opening up yourself to things that you have never experienced before. Really, really, truly changing who you are. And if you're still stuck in who you've always been, then this is not the time. But if you feel like you're ready to move into, what we're going to do is go chapter through chapter and really discuss the things that pop up to us, that go, oh, aha moment, I need to discuss this. So we're going to write down our notes of what it was that really affected each one of us, and then we'll sit down together and we're going to discuss. It's not a class. All you got to do for this is, you will learn a lot, though. The soul loves to learn, remember? But if you're interested in getting into a book reading group with me, it is Diana herself. The only requirement is that you get your hands on a copy. You can get the electronic copy. You can get a paperback. I've got them both. I read it electronically, and then I was like, I need to hold this book in my hands. There's something about the energy of the book. So then I got a hard copy, and it is on Amazon. Diana Herself by Martha Beck. So anybody that now or in the future, it'll probably be, I'm going to put it out a couple of weeks before we start it, so we've got time to gather a group. I really highly recommend this book. I highly recommend it. When you sit down and start writing or reading it, you're not going to be able to put it down. So it's okay if you get the book in your hands. You're like, I want to be in that book club with her, so I'm going to go ahead and get my hands on that book. You go ahead and get your hands on the book, and I expect that you'll read the first chapter, and then you won't be able to put it down until it's done. I think I read it with all the other things I got to do. I think I read it in just 2-3 days. It's not a long book, but man, the reason why I didn't read it more quickly is because I had to digest. I would read a few and I'm like, whoa, gosh, hold on. I got to spend some time on that. So I would put it down, and then the next time I'd get it back up, and I'd like, okay, let me read. And I'd read a chapter 2 and whoa, okay, I got to think about that. And I want to go deeper into it. And I want to go deeper into it with a group of people. So anybody that wants to be a part of that, please, let me know. We'll see what we can find time-wise where we can just sit and have a conversation about this. It's just going to be a fun reading group, and we're going to learn a lot together. Okay? So, hi, Julie Kiss. So go back and listen to those announcements, Julie Kiss. A couple of opportunities for learning coming up. I will put them on my webpage, which is now changed, imaginationofbecoming.com. I'll put them there. I'll put them here on Facebook. The information so that you can go into these places, and I'll show you where you can get the book. I'm also going to, if you know anybody that it might serve them to do Voice of the Spirit, the beginner class, please pass that information on to them too, so that we can start a new group of people that are going to start to find that voice. Voice of the Spirit is also always going to be a one-on-one session towards the beginning. Sometimes we're able to get a one-on-one session too. We'll do one in the beginning and one towards the end, but it always does include that too, so that if you're interested in that, we get to know each other a little bit better, and we can work on any stuck energy, any place that needs to move, that'll help you to open up and just become more of your authentic true self. So that's what it's all about. You're so welcome. So I'll put that information out. Whew. Good stuff. Good information today. I'm thanking my guides, because they're the ones that Martha, I'm going to say. Well, it's funny that Martha Beck, because I just before, when I was talking to Gerald Ann, I said, okay, who is this that was with me yesterday, this guide? And I was like, Matilda, she's an M name. And then I said Martha, and I should have remembered Martha Beck, because that's who I just used that on my guide a little while ago. She is an M. And when I get some time by myself, I'm gonna give her a better name. She's an older lady. She's got a great grandmotherly voice, and she's just very cool. That's all I know. She's cool. I was happy to find her. Okay. How about we take just a few minutes, since we're really in that space of learning more about our personal guides. Good morning, Michael. Of maybe connecting for just a minute, I want to help you to connect to your guide if you're open to that. And if you're not, you can pop back off. And if you want to watch it later, that's okay too, because I'll post this. But do you have that spirit guide that you brought through? That's your best friend. This is the one that will tell you like it is. This is the one that holds no bars. That's not going to say, oh, I'm going to soften this up so I don't hurt her feelings. This is the one that's going to say, bleh. It's going to say it like it is. And we all brought one of them through with us. I can almost guarantee you that you have a guide like that. That's very, very, because there is no sugarcoating physicality. And this guide is someone who has lived physically with you before and knows exactly what your core being is like and what how you plan this life. And so you want to get to know that guide better. That's the one that's really going to help you right now with all of these emotions that are brewing in all of us. This is the one that's really going to help you. So I would love for you for just a few moments to be still with me. Your godmom, Julie Beautiful. I want you to take the time. I know my grandmother's always with me too. She's pushing at me now to do some writing. She's my writer. But hi Grandma. It's coming to the point, the veil is so thin. I often do that when I'm doing shows. I'm like, oh, there's Steve. And I feel like people are like, oh, she's always talking about Steve. But all we have to do is right now, because there's really no veil at all, it's our own awareness that allows them. It's the fact that we take down the wall and let them work with us or communicate, or we just let them be with us. And their energy is so beautiful that if you truly allow yourself to experience it, it takes your breath away. So I can't help it when I'm doing shows and all of a sudden I say Steve's name and he goes boom, and I'm like, oh gosh, okay, give me a second. Because his energy has grown so beautiful and so perfect that he takes my breath away. Seriously, he's always taken my breath away, but this is different. Literally fills up my whole being and I can't breathe through it. So that's me. But that was my grandmother a minute ago. She just, as soon as I said her, I was like, oh, hello. She's got a very sweet, always the most unconditional person I ever knew. And she brings such a sweetness to me. So she's part of my team too. But who is in your team? It may not be anyone that you knew in this physical life. It may be someone that was in other physical lives with you. And they really know how you've struggled. And they know where you fell short. And maybe they were the one that was with you in a lifetime where you just didn't quite get there. You wanted to. And you just didn't quite have the team you needed to help push you over the finish line. And so they've come back through. They're going to help you now to finish that. I feel a lot of truth in that for someone. So get your feet planted and let's just get ourselves into a good space for a minute. And we are completely trusting our guides. We're trusting Archangel Michael to fully protect us. We're always so protected. I know we like to ask all the time. We like to do that physical I'm asking because we're such linear-minded people. The truth is that Archangel Michael, your team is always protecting you. They know. They are always watching out for you against negative, dark energies. So please know that. They are here now. Hi, Charlie, Erica, whoever that is. So I want you to just now, for just a few minutes with me, as you're taking a big breath, and you're completely protected in your own healing space. Take just a few minutes to just rest into that feeling as you fall into your core, right there in the center of you, like a great, big, beautiful sun. That's you, all lit up, shining beautifully. So you fall right there into your center. Feet are well planted so that you can feel that energy. Your roots are right down on the earth. We're not going anywhere. We're staying right here. You're so needed. So as you're taking that big breath in, I want you to just ask for that guide, that one that's here to keep you straight, that one that knows you better than anyone has ever known you. Ask them. Say, will you please come into my energy? You don't need to know their name. It's okay. If you hear a name, that's beautiful. But call them in. They know who they are. Trust me. They've been waiting for you. So call them in. And I want you to just rest into it. Close your eyes. Relax your body completely. Knowing that when you call on any of the angels or guides, they always come. So they are right there with you right now. I imagine I can feel the energy of mine right at my right side right now. Almost like right here on my right shoulder. What do you feel? Where did you feel a shift of energy around you? My right ear. Just breathe. Who is it? Who are you feeling? You can invite them. Come on in. Come on in. Give me your name. Ask specifically of your angels and guides. Don't be afraid to play around. They like it when you play. Who are you? And this guide, because they've come through so many lifetimes, you may get different names. They've been different beings too, but they have one core. They have a name, and sometimes it's not even one that you can understand. Many of us have Native American guides. Those names come through and these ding, 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 ding. You know, they come through little boom, 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 boom. They're kind of a strange. And oftentimes when I'm working with someone, I get this, I can't say the word. And then they say, call them this. They don't care what you call them. So if you're getting a name, and it may be even an extraterrestrial sounding name, it may be something that doesn't compute, or from another country and you can't quite make it out. It might be, I'm just going to call you B. Whatever name you use is always correct. But if you get a specific name, all the more beautiful. Please ignore the little doggy Toto. Big breath. And sitting in the presence of this guide right now, whoever they are, see if you can envision their face. See if you can tell, is this male, female? Does it really matter? Is it male or female? What do they look like? What are they dressed in? Maybe start with the feet. Look down at your feet and look down at their feet. Hi, Geraldine. What do you see? Oh, that's different. That's not what I expected on the feet of my guide. I see Eskimo boots. Wherever this guide is coming from, she's coming from someplace very, very cold. What do you see? I'm scanning up. So you start with the feet and just scan on up. See what she's wearing, or he. Don't block your imagination. That's where it comes from. It's okay to use your imagination. Maybe you get all the way up to their eyes. What color are the eyes? Beautiful, Julie. Well done. Oh, my guide has the most beautiful blue eyes. Just like Steve's. Blue, blue, blue eyes. And kindness. And she's making sure that I know that she'll kick me square in the butt if I don't accomplish what I came here to do. This is the guide. This is the one that knows you through and through. Remember that. The one that holds you accountable in this lifetime. We all have that best friend guide. They don't take no crap. They redirect us. This is the one. Can you see the look on their face? Is it very determined? Arms crossed over the chest. Mine is like, yes, you're getting this done this time, sister. You're getting it done. We're not messing around anymore. Mine has animal skins. She has a very Native American look, but her boots are an animal fur. An ancient Native, maybe not even American, but ancient Native lady. Hold on, I'm almost getting a name. I need to work on this on my own. Come on, lady. Show yourself. Give me your name. So ask, what are you getting? She has a owl on her shoulder. I just saw that. There's a pet owl. Snowy owl. Now I want you to know that Spirit will often bring through symbols and signs to give you your answers. You don't often hear, if you don't have that hearing, pay attention to anything that you see. If it's a certain color, or a smell, or even a taste, or a bird, or a flower. All I know is she has great wisdom. I feel her. I feel her energy. What does that guide feel like to you? Beautiful. Feeling that energy. This is where you begin. When you sit down and you're quiet, you get into that stillness and you just allow, without trying to control, let your imagination flow and allow yourself, after you've asked that question, I would like my guide, my main guide, the one I put in charge of everything, my own personal guide to come in. I would like to meet you. And then you sit there and allow your imagination to flow. Start someplace. Start with the feet, start with the eyes, start with the hair, whatever you'd like to start with. And let the rest of it just materialize before you. And how beautiful is it when you can put form to that beautiful energy that's always around you. And it's just the most amazing kind of game. This is your psychic development. This is where your third eye just grows and grows and grows just by you allowing. Marta. Marta. I wanted to say Martha, but it's not Martha, it's Marta. Did you get a name? Yes, it is wonderful to connect, isn't it? That's where you realized how close you are. So many of us spend time going, I can't do that. Can't see. It takes time and it takes energy and it takes imagination. It's effort. You have to work at this sometimes to clear that away, to begin to see. But it is just, the effort is so beautiful. It's just being there and being in stillness, forcing yourself to be still, not let anything else distract you. So beautiful. I hope some of you have at least felt the energy of your guides. And if you come away from this feeling and knowing and remembering to go to that guide in particular right now, the reason why this message is coming through so clearly right now is because we are all coming to a place where we need the help. We need this one guide that knows us better than anyone else, that will help to push us in the right direction, that will tell us that if we're on the wrong way, they're going to tell us that too, because they don't hold any punches. And they will help you to clear away all of this old stuff that you're still carrying around. They're going to let you know, hey, you got some baggage there. You need to clear that out. You need to, and maybe, just maybe, we can work through more of this baggage and those people, those lessons that keep coming at us to teach us the stuff that we're not really enjoying. Maybe we can avoid some of that just by listening and spending time with our guide. Maybe we can learn more from that guide than instead of allowing ourselves to keep suffering and going through all these wild lessons. So there's a good reason for this today. I know you're suffering. I know that you're having a hard time. I know that we are being called out right now by the universe. I know your angels and your guides, and when you do things and when you have those old reactions, that reaction that doesn't come out of compassion and empathy, but it comes out of anger or comes out of what's the word, where you've got to stand up. You got to give your side of the story always. You know, we're all like that. We're so reactive. Somebody says something and we got to just, my side is right, your side is wrong. We're moving out of that energy. Everyone is right. We all see things differently. We all have our own way of viewing the world. We all have our own filters. There's no use trying to convince anyone else that they're wrong, because you're not going to do it. All you're going to do is gain a whole lot of negative energy in the process. And your guides are trying to help you to avoid all that negative excess energy that is being loaded on you every time you try to be right and have somebody else be wrong. There absolutely is no actual right and actual wrong. It's only perception. So that's where we're going right now. Letting go of the idea that we have to be right always. You do get to be right in your own self. You're okay to be right. Just don't try to force other people to take your right as their right. Let them take their right as their right. Just let it go. It's really important. All right, so the energy is kind of separating away. I still feel my guide's not going anywhere. I don't know about you guys, but it's like she is so happy that I've called her in, that I'm paying attention to her. I feel like I've got some work to do, and so do you. So whoever that guide is that's with you now, ask them to stay. Ask them to stick with you. Start asking them questions. Start talking to them. Start listening for their answers. Start paying attention. Start watching the signs and the symbols. Different TV shows, different movies, different things that you're drawn to. That's how they get you the answers. So pay attention. It's all about paying attention. You think you're not getting it. You can't hear, you can't see, you don't have all of this stuff. Well, it's okay. If you don't have all those clairs, it's okay, because they're still trying to get you those messages. It just comes in different ways. It might come through a different person or through, I know sometimes I'm drawn to a book or a movie or something, and all of a sudden I go, oh, there it is. There's my answer. So pay attention to everything that you're drawn to right now. That's where your answers are going to come to you. So we're asking that you completely come back into your own heart space. Don't let yourself go dangling out there everywhere. Pull yourself back in. Take a big breath. All the way back in, asking the angels to repair any holes, any pinpricks, anything, any damage to your aura now, so that you're completely safe within that aura. And Archangel Michael is putting a blue layer around your aura right now. Beautiful blue. It's gorgeous. And it's coming all the way around you, an extra layer of protection for your day. You take a big breath, feel your feet, and come all the way back into physical, bringing that beautiful guide that you just met with you. They're going to stay with you today, as long as it takes. They're like, well, we're always here anyway. It's just that you're aware of us now. It's nothing different. Don't be afraid. We're always here. You have such a beautiful team. If we could only just sit down and see them gathering in the room with us, we would know. One more big breath. Thanking you guys for joining us. Thanking all the angels. Thanking all your guides for joining us today. I'm so glad that you came in and joined me. Share this out if you feel it would be useful to anyone else. I will be posting on the new book club, and I will be posting on the new class. And if anyone's interested in joining me, I'm very, very flexible. I promise. We'll work it out. I love you guys so much. Please take good care of yourselves. I'm so glad you caught me too, Julie. And I'm so glad that you jumped into Charlie. I've been missing you. All of you guys, thank you so much for popping in today. I will see you again soon, I promise. Take good care of yourselves today and enjoy all of this beautiful protection. It's such a yummy feeling. Thanking everyone and all your higher selves. Thank you so much. Thank you, Lisa. Take good care of yourselves today. Much love to you, Julie. Take good care. Bye for now.